Singin' in the Rain tells the story set in the late 1920s of Don, played by Gene Kelly, a popular silent movie star, and his best friend Cosmo, played by Donald O'Connor. The studio they work for has created a fake romance between Don and a vain leading actress called Lena, played by Jean Hagen, in order to generate public interest in the company's films. However, in reality, he falls for another woman longing for a career in the world of Hollywood called Kathy, played by Debbie Reynolds. But this relationship is kept secret due to the public image of Don and Lena. Though they struggle when they have to learn how to make a movie with dialogue in it, and it's a flop at the advanced screening, so they have to go back to the drawing board and figure out how to save all of their careers at once. How hard can it be?
Hey, what'd you say that for?
Weirdly, the film was conceived without a script. MGM producer Arthur Freed had wanted to make a movie based on a selection of songs written by him and Nasio Herb Brown, and they then brought in Betty Condon and Adolph Green to help them write the script. But because there weren't any outlines for a story, the writers were forced to write around the songs in order to generate a plot that would suit them. Because we all know how well that works out!
No kidding.
Because many of the songs had originally been written during the time when silent films were fading away, and musicals were becoming popular with audiences, the writers came up with the idea to set the story during the transitional period in Hollywood between silent films and talkies. Their words, not mine. I would never say that. When Howard Keel was mentioned as a possible choice for the lead, the writers tried to come up with a story involving a star of Western films who makes a comeback as a singing cowboy. But they kept gravitating to a story about a swashbuckling romantic hero with a vaudeville background who survives the transition by falling back on his abilities as a song and dance man, a story which Gene Kelly was well suited for. However, Kelly wasn't available at the time as he was working on An American in Paris, which he was starring in and co-choreographing with Stanley Donen. Condon and Green continued to work on the script and had at the time 3 possible openings for the film: a silent movie premiere, a magazine interview with a Hollywood star, and a star meets girl, star loses girl sequence. Unable to decide which to use, they had just decided to return their advance to MGM and admit defeat. But when it was suggested to combine all 3 openings into one, the script was rewritten and approved by the studio.
Thanks a lot!
At this point, filming on An American in Paris had completed, and Freed suggested that Kelly be given the script to read, and he and Donen instantly agreed and immediately became involved in rewrites to the script. Filming then began, but it proved to be a lot more stressful than anticipated. During the sequence where Kelly sings the titular song, the actor was sick with a 103-degree fever. It's often rumoured that he managed to complete the song in 1 take, but this was later proven untrue and it actually took around 4 takes to get it right. Another rumour was that the rain was mixed with milk in order to make it show up on camera, but this was actually achieved with background lighting. On top of the technical difficulties, Gene Kelly was a nightmare to work with, to the point that the cast and crew were terrified of messing up in case it would incur his wrath. Additionally, because he knew that Reynolds' crying would hold up filming, whenever Kelly was angry with her, he would hurl abuse at Donald O'Connor instead, knowing that he wouldn't stand up to him, though this wasn't revealed to her until years later. Debbie Reynolds later said that making the movie was even more painful than giving birth.
That's terrible.
Kelly would also force people to do insanely difficult dance moves, to the point they would become hospitalized. For the Make 'em Laugh number, Gene Kelly asked Donald O'Connor to run up a wall and complete a somersault. This ended up being so physically taxing that O'Connor ended up in a hospital bed for a week after its completion, suffering from exhaustion and painful carpet burns. Unfortunately, an accident ruined all of the initial footage, so O'Connor had to do the difficult number all over again.
That's a good idea.
I was smoking 4 packs of cigarettes a day then, and getting up those walls was murder. They had to bank 1 wall so I could make it up and then through another wall. We filmed the whole sequence in 1 day. We did it on a concrete floor. My body just had to absorb this tremendous shock. Things were building to such a crescendo that I thought I'd have to commit suicide for the ending. I came back on the set 3 days later. All the grips applauded. Gene Kelly applauded, told me what a great number it was. Then Gene said, "Do you think you could do that number again?" I said, "Sure, anytime." He said, "Well, we're gonna have to do it again tomorrow." No one had checked the aperture of the camera and they fogged out all the film. So the next day I did it again. By the end, my feet and ankles were a mass of bruises.
Sticks and stones may break my bones.
In addition, the Good Morning sequence was so difficult it took around 15 hours to film, and it was so stressful for the actors involved that Debbie Reynolds had to be hospitalized for 3 days because she had burst some blood vessels in her feet. This, combined with the up to 19-hour work days and Gene Kelly's dickish behavior, caused her to become incredibly depressed. She ended up being reassured when dancing legend Fred Astaire, who was working in an adjacent studio, found her crying under a piano and assured her that all of her hard work would be worth it.
But you don't mean that.
Singing in the Rain had its premiere at the Radio City Music Hall on March the 27th, 1952, before its wide release on April the 11th to much praise. In fact, legendary French director Francois Truffaut was a huge fan of the film, so much so that he admitted he had seen it so many times he knew the movie frame by frame.
If you've seen one, you've seen them all.
Singin' in the Rain was nominated for 2 Academy Awards for Best Supporting Actress and Best Original Score, but sadly didn't win either, though Donald O'Connor won a Golden Globe for his performance, and the Writers Guild of America named it the greatest American musical of all time. The movie's popularity led to a comic book adaptation in April 1952, as well as a Broadway musical that ran from July 1985 to May the following year. La La Land director Damien Chazelle cited the film as a major influence of his work, and the movie still remains a classic of the musical genre almost 70 years after its release. Straight off the bat, what the hell is up with this guy? He looks like a real-life cartoon character. I totally expected his eyes to pop out of his head right here.
They sent me to the finest schools, including dancing school. That's where I first met Cosmo. And with him, I used to perform for all of Mum and Dad's society friends.
And that's where I learned to dissolve my face into a flashback. Ah, the 50s, where dance sequences would last a eternity, but you really didn't care because of how well choreographed and how cool they look.
Audiences everywhere adored us.
That was funny. So Don is a popular, beloved actor, and it's clear he can get any woman he wants. Once they figure out who he is.
Hello, Miss Lamont. I'm Don Lockwood, the stuntman.
Hot diggity, kids, it's a smash. Hey, Mr. Simpson?
Don, Lena, you were gorgeous.
Yeah, Lena, you look pretty good for a girl.
For heaven's sake, what's the big idea? Can't a girl get a word in edgewise?
Oh, Jesus Christ! No wonder they don't let her talk.
What's wrong with the way I talk? What's the big idea? Am I dumb or something?
Have you heard you? You make Fran Drescher sound like Morgan Freeman. This is Lena, by the way. Yeah, I have no idea why Don doesn't want to be with her either.
Hey, you're playing rough there. Hey, you're carrying like... Hey, Claus, do something. Call me a cab.
Okay, you're a cab.
And thus, the dad joke era was born. So he meets Kathy by chance, and they start off on the wrong foot, but even their arguing is quite charming and endearing.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, no offense. Movies are entertaining enough for the masses, but the personalities on the screen just don't impress me. I mean, they don't talk, they don't act, they just make a lot of dumb show.
But then it gets weird.
You're nothing but a shadow on film. A shadow. You're not flesh and blood.
Oh, no.
Stop!
What could I do to you? I'm only a shadow.
You keep away from me.
Well, this is getting dark. But it is funny how they watch a clip of a talkie. God, that sounds so stupid.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
But it's funny how they're all blown away by the fact that someone can talk on film. It really shows how far movies have come over the years.
Note how my lips and the sounds issuing from them are synchronized together in perfect unison since the earliest days of this.
Howard Stark.
All I do is dream of you the whole night through. With the dawn, I still go on dreaming of you. You're every thought, you're everything, you're every song I ever sing. Summer, winter, autumn, and spring. And were there more than 24 hours a day, they'd be spent in sweet content, dreaming away. The skies are gray, the skies are blue, morning, noon, and night too. All I do the whole day through is dream of you.
No! It's not a good song. It's not. Okay, the dance numbers are so well choreographed, they are fantastic. It was worth all the hard work, effort, and psychological and physical abuse.
I did not say that.
But what is it with heroes in old films always playing creepy weirdos?
No, don't go. Now that I know where you live, I'd like to see you home.
Stop being so creepy!
Now listen, Mr. Lockwood.
Oh, now it's worse. Off.
Here's one thing I've learned from the movies.
Ah, that's much better. Then Kathy runs away and Don gives chase. Man, he is now full-on stalking this poor woman. The 50s were weird, bro. But it is pretty cool to see them walking through a whole movie set. Everything is so well rehearsed and planned. But mate, Cosmo's a cartoon, I'm telling you. Just watch him.
Short people have long faces, and long people have short faces. Big people have little humor, and little people have no humor at all.
But then he sings the song of my life.
Make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh. Don't you know everyone wants to laugh? My dad said be an actor, my son, but be a comical one. They'll be standing in lines for those old honky-tonk monkey shines. You could study Shakespeare and be quite elite, and you could charm the critics and have nothing to eat. Just slip on a banana peel, the world's at your feet. Make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh.
It's so well choreographed as he misses all of the furniture on set. Until he doesn't. And these somersaults look amazing. Credit to him for not using a stunt double. They came out great and were definitely worth the actor nearly dying for.
I did not say that.
Well, well, here comes our lovely leading lady now.
Gee, this wig weighs a ton. What dope will wear a thing like this?
Oh, God! Stop talking! You're silent! Do your job! But, remember when I said the 50s were questionable?
There may be blondes and brunettes that are hard to resist. You surpass them like a queen. You've got those lips that were meant to be kissed, and you're over sweet 16.
What? What the hell does that line mean? Who wrote that? I will say, other than the titular song and one other, the other tracks aren't really memorable. You forget them as soon as they're over, despite how well choreographed the dance numbers are. And now, all of a sudden, Kathy is absolutely fine with Don. Yep. But she hated him like 10 seconds ago. Look at how everything changes in such a short amount of time.
I'm the girl who hit Miss Lamont with a cake. Believe me, it was meant for Mr. Lockwood. Is it all right for you to be seen publicly with me?
You were meant for me.
Calm down, mate. This is only like the third or fourth time you've met the woman. And only the first time she's been nice to you.
And I can't stand 'em.
Stop making her talk!
And I can't stand 'em.
Can't.
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 Shut up! My God, just shut up! Man, can you just imagine living in a musical? It'd be so freaky. People just spontaneously breaking out into random dance numbers out of nowhere, perfectly synchronized with one another. But it is hilarious how they're trying to adjust to making a movie with dialogue. Sorry, I am not calling them a talkie again.
It is terrible.
And Lena keeps failing to say her lines into a microphone, leading to the director getting increasingly frustrated and trying out different techniques.
Shouldn't have flirting with dangerous. They will surely find you out.
Just talk to the mic! You have one job!
Everybody's picking on me.
You deserve it. So they put the microphone on her, but it picks up her heartbeat. Then the mic is beside her, but then the wire gets pulled and she gets flipped over. This is great. So we cut to the first advanced screening, but this audience goes nuts for everything. Just listen to their reactions. Why was that funny? He just threw it. What are these people on? So there's technical difficulties and they all laugh at the bad audio. But they act like it's the funniest thing ever. Jesus Christ, how is it this funny? Did someone spike their popcorn?
Hey, Lena, what you hitting him with, a blackjack?
What?
Oh, Pierre.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Why is it this funny? I don't understand. What are you laughing at?
Did somebody get paid for writing that dialogue?
Oh, just wait until you see George Lucas.
Wasn't it awful?
This is the worst picture ever made.
Only because Pink Flamingos hasn't been made yet. So they go back to the drawing board and decide to somehow turn the movie into a musical in just 6 weeks before it gets released. Until we get to the only other memorable song, and to be fair, this is great.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
But who doesn't do this at 1:30 in the morning with their girlfriend and best friend, dancing around, singing for no reason? I just call this Tuesday. Kudos to the acting though, fighting through the health issues and blisters and agony. This is amazing, you can't even tell.
She can't act, she can't sing, and she can't dance.
Never stopped One Direction. But Cosmo then comes up with a genius futuristic idea of having Lena lip-sync to Kathy's vocals. Brilliant! Wait until NSYNC find out about this. And then we get the titular song, and yeah, it is incredible. And again, props to Kelly for powering through his illness. This looks great. Even though Keenan and Kel's version was better.
I'm drinking orange rain.
What, it's illegal to kick puddles now? But they literally decide to dub Lena's voice for the entire movie, spoken word as well as singing, without telling her. Look, I know she's a big queen, but come on, this is majorly douchey.
Would you and if the girl were I?
Okay, never mind, she deserves it! Although, not to nitpick here, but as she sings, she's clearly uncomfortable. So even if she was dubbed, her acting would give it away. Although when she acts the scene later, she of course does it completely perfectly, because plot. I just love the energy and visual style of the 50s. Their sets and costume design, they're just so colourful and gorgeous. It looks brilliant. But man, I know I said the dance numbers go on for ages and we don't care, but this one's taking the piss. How long does it go on for?
Now get going, fellas. Don't forget, you've got to have that Sullen girl re-record all of Lena's dialogue.
It's all set up.
And remember, don't let Lena know about it.
So we can most definitely get a lawsuit. Seriously, how do they not even consider this a possibility?
I want that girl off the lot at once.
Oh God! Off! No, I'll take it back. She deserves it. Ruin her career. Now, all jokes aside, alright, she is annoying and a bit up her own ass, but they are completely screwing her over, and they're so smug about it.
Sure, she's only doing you a favor helping you in the Dancing Cavalier.
And she's getting full screen credit for it, too.
You mean it's going to say up on the screen that I don't talk and sing for myself?
Of course, what do you think?
So they can't do that.
It's already done.
And there's a whole publicity campaign being planned.
Jesus Christ, they're complete douchebags!
The studio's responsible for every word printed about me. If I don't like it, I can sue.
What?
I can sue.
Why are they so shocked? It's obvious. Of course she's gonna sue. So she points out that her contract says she runs publicity and they aren't allowed to credit Kathy as the voice. Well, now I feel bad for Kathy. I'm so conflicted. But Lena gets too carried away, decides to make a speech to the adoring audience, and the smug let her do it, knowing they're gonna notice the change of voice. But then they demand a song and Kathy sings, and yeah, this is really predictable. But man, it's so good to see her get her comeuppance. Yeah, karma, But again, why are they laughing so hard? It's not even funny. Are you all stoned? But also, right before she's about to get exposed,
Singing in the rain.
Singing in the rain. In what key?
A flat.
A flat.
so why do they then go on to do the song in E flat? Then Don reveals Kathy as the real star. I mean, isn't this technically breaking the contract? Or is this fine because it wasn't written word? Oh, who cares? This movie is amazing! The story isn't just some generic musical. You get invested in the movie they're making, and considering this was made in the 50s, it's really ahead of its time. The songs are well done, dance numbers well choreographed. I just wish the other songs were catchier and more memorable. It was a nightmare behind the scenes, but as a result, we got easily one of the greatest musicals in history. I'm reviewing a movie. What a beautiful feeling. God, I wish I could sing.